Born in Edmonton. When did hockey start for you, and how many battles were there with brother Wayne?
Well, you know what? I started playing when I was, I guess, 5. I mean, we had our little garden backyard rink, so I think I started skating 2.5, 3, something like that. You know, so old Gretzky, he wasn't the only one that had a backyard rink. You know, Walter gets all the credit. Of course, you know, Wayne had a pretty good career, but yeah. And then the battles. You know what? My brother's 3 years older than me, so we had a few, maybe just minor ones when we were younger, but not a whole lot. You know, not many battles. The only time we really got into wasn't really a fight. He was playing in Portland, and I was playing Alberta junior. I think I was 16, and I think it was his draft year. You know, I mean, he was gone all year. We didn't see much of each other, and he started thinking he was tough. I remember going in the front yard, and I tossed him around a bit, and I think he figured out quickly that I might have had the upper hand on him.
And did you play any other sports growing up?
You know what? We played everything. Well, in Edmonton, you know, the big thing was hockey, and then in the summertime was baseball. You know, there's a lot of other kids. You know, they played some soccer. You know, I played a little bit when I got a little bit older, but baseball was kind of my thing in the summer. I played a lot of golf. I know I lived probably 3 blocks away from Highlands Golf Course in Edmonton, which is a pretty good, you know, private course. And I bugged my mom one year because a couple of my buddies, you know, had a membership, junior membership. And when I was 13, 14, pretty much spent the whole day there all day for a couple of summers. And yeah, I got pretty good. And now I get once in a while I can shoot well, but you know, the aches and pains kind of get to you.
Oh yeah.
So every second game is an adventure for sure.
I just thought my golf game's horrible, and I just think if I could just not lose one ball per hole, then I call that a good hole. So I go there 18 balls, and if you run out of balls, you're done.
Well, that's a good way to do it because that could be pretty expensive. I know. You know, I heard this one tip. You know, take 2 weeks off and sell your clubs. Well, maybe take a tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You can always find cheap balls somewhere. You know. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then you ended up playing your junior in the WHL with the Portland Winterhawks. Take us back to those days.
Well, it was. Portland was. I mean, a great franchise. It still is. It was. Well, my brother actually, when we grew up in Edmonton, the Edmonton Oil Kings were still around. And then when my brother was playing, he played 2 years in Edmonton. And then when they moved to Portland, he played another 2 years there. And I made the team when I was 16 and you know, went with them over there. But I only lasted a month. I wasn't quite ready. I was just getting in high school. You know, I mean, physically I was ready. It just, you know, I mean, high school was important to me. I wanted to make sure I graduated. So I wanted to get the first good year. And so I went back to Alberta Junior, and it had a great year, and it turned out great. I played 2 more in Portland, and what a great city. Boy, I tell you,
Yeah,
you know, you talk about the Lower Mainland here. It's kind of even more granola, foodie, down to earth, you know, beautiful place. And it's same thing. You know, you could ski in Mount Hood, which is half hour outside of town. You know, you could golf pretty much all year, and then the beaches were, you know, another half hour drive the other way. So everything was there, and it treated me great. I loved it there. Travel was a little goofy. I remember one time. I know now in the WHL they pick designated divisions where they travel once a year, and then they might not travel to one. We had a road trip one time. It was 21 days. We left Portland, and I think we hit every city all the way to Brandon. We finished in Brandon, so it was 21 days. They bought us a burger on the bus after the game. We drove 32 hours straight back. I think we stopped once somewhere. I think it was, you know, kind of like Trail somewhere out that way. And then we kept going. And then so we get in that evening. The next day we got to play, you know, a home game. you're looking out the window and it's just a blur. But it was, but hey, it was well worth it. I really enjoyed it. We had a good bunch of guys on the team, so it made it go by quick.
And Portland's awesome too. Strip club capital of the Northwest.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How would you know that, Ryan?
Yeah, we do. We always do our what are those things called? Stags. We always do a stag down in Portland. I did one a couple of years ago down there, and it was great times.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I we were on student visa, so we couldn't really do bad things. So we got caught doing something goofy. We could be sent home, or that's
absolutely.
Anyway, they threatened that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. And then taking back to draft day, drafted second overall to the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, it was interesting because nobody knew who was going first. There was talk of Wickenheiser. Obviously, he went first, but Dennis Savard, myself, and Montreal had the first pick, and like I said, nobody knew until they announced it. Even my agents were actually, one was from Montreal, and so he kind of had the ear to the ground there, but he had no idea until it was announced. And then with Wickenheiser going there and me going to Winnipeg, it was a great day. I mean, I was just happy to get drafted. Where it didn't matter. Maybe if you go to a different city, your career path changes, and you don't know how or how it would have. But no, I can't complain. All the spots I've been to.
And then obviously brother drafted third overall the year before, and you guys were the highest, or a couple years before, you guys were the highest brothers drafted in history for defensemen.
Well, that's right. And I think some guys out of here were drafted kind of the same.
Yeah, Sedin. Yeah, they tied that.
Yeah. So no, it was great. I mean, with Wayne going before me a couple of years, I really didn't even think I was going to make the NHL until he got drafted, and then we were doing hockey schools together and skating around at 16 or 17, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's not that much better than me. And then you start thinking, well, geez, maybe I got a chance. And it seemed to work out.
Do you have a favorite piece of sports memorabilia?
Oh, I have a lot, and it's actually somebody just brought it up to me today when we went to the finals and we won the Western Conference.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I don't know if you guys seen that. Where there's a Kellogg's put our team on the front.
Yeah.
Flags. And so all of us, we got it all encased in plastic, and one of my favorite things for sure, because I got my back turned so you could see the name and number, and it's kind of front and center. That's one thing, but you know what else is really neat? There's many things I have in boxes that are dear to me, and that's why I haven't thrown them out, or my kids don't want them. They don't care about my stuff. But I got a jersey when I did Slapshot 2 from the Hanson brothers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's all signed, and it's just and it's goofy enough, but you know what, they probably did as much for hockey as almost anyone, especially in the States. Bring notoriety to it maybe in kind of a bit of a sour way, but still the notoriety was there and the entertainment was there, and they, we got to work together on the movie, and a good bunch of guys, and I think I played against all of them at one time or another, and but it was really neat, just to be part of that. The movie was the shits, but what do you do? It went straight to video, so yeah, that's maybe that was because of me, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's only like the best sports movie of all time.
Well, this was
Slapshot 2.
1. Oh yeah, yes, correct.
Slapshot 1 for sure. Yeah. But Slapshot 2 was you have to be drinking some heavy beverages to enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, on that note, what's your go-to drink?
Oh boy, you know what? I would probably go for a vodka ginger with a lime.
Yeah.
That's kind of my barbecue drink. Like you sit there and Yeah, you pour a tall one. It's kind of like something. This isn't one. This is just water, but this kind of that size,
Yeah.
you know. And
Okay.
yeah, you make sure you take your time on the steaks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.